We can begin. Welcome to Mindful Pilates. I'm hoping that you all can hear me well. It keeps switching from, yeah, it says MacBook Air. Okay. So let me know. I'm trying my new AirPods, so that is a little technical for me. Does it sound good? Thumbs up if it's okay. Great. Okay. So let's begin with some myofascial release. Find the shoulder blades moving. So that upper back strengthening, we also want to stretch through the upper back. So as you lift your shoulder blade and take it off at an angle towards the corner of your body, feel for the subscapularis muscle, which rides on the front of your shoulder blade towards your rib cage. And notice, is there any tension in there? Now pause and let your arms come up like you're going to hug somebody. That is your hugging muscle. You can feel for it at the front of your shoulder blades and then release. It's also the muscle that helps you throw a ball. Pretend like you're throwing a ball. It's that muscle at the front of the shoulder blade. Okay, roll again. Roll shoulder to shoulder, pointing the toe away from the shoulder. The elbow can lift, and you stretch side to side. And some of you will be able to unfurl the arm and reach and really let the ribs move too. Let the spine bend a little. Find that myofascial opening around the head of the arm bone, through the front chest, along the spine. And then let yourself float and let yourself bounce. The knees can bend a little bit. We're warming up the body. See if you can float up onto the ball of the foot if that's comfortable for you. And remember, the wind's lifting you from beneath the body. And let your feet land and your arms, one palm up, one palm down, figure eight in front of you. And perhaps they come around and you get a little bit of a twist. And let your legs move along with the fabric of your body because we're just trying to gently loosen everything up so that when we do the Pilates core work, we're not pinching between the bones. Let the arms rise skyward and then let them float back down. Good. And release. Okay. Nobody mentioned arm weights, but let's pick up some hand weights for a moment. Continuing with a little warming up of the body. Bring your hand weights up, humerus bones parallel to the floor, elbows at a right angle, bend the knees, and open up. Now pause here. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Feel how if you gently press out at the upper legs, you are lifting the inner arch. But don't roll out onto the outside edges of the feet. And close. Oh, hi, John. And open and close and open and close. Staying in a little bit of a ski tuck, warming up the myofascia of the body. Feel for the four corners of your feet here. So spread them open as you land them. Feel for the four corners. Now, notice if you tend to like kind of bounce the front ribs down, try to stay strong from ribs to hip pointers. Someone else is trying to get in. Oop. Oh, she got in without me. Okay, fluid breath. Warming up the body. And come back to your center and reach the arms skyward. And release. And reach. Keep the knees bent. And reach. We're warming up those quads. Reach and release. See if you can lift the heels and lower. You can turn the feet out if that's better, and lower and lift and lower and lift and lower. If you have these hand weights that circle around your fingers, you can stretch the fingers up. You don't have to grip the hand weight so much. And come back down and bring the palms together and open and close and open. So we're warming up now the upper back. So as you bring the shoulder blades around and the palms together, cat curl the spine just a little bit. And then open, lift the heart just a little bit. And feel for a stretch even as you work across the back body. Fluid breath, warming up the tissue. And come open again and press and lift your heels and elbows wide. And press and wide. Press and wide. Now keeping the arms here. Gently twist to the left, keeping the right knee open. Come back to center. Gently twist to the right, keeping the left knee open. And center. And again. Now only twist as far as is comfortable in your body. And remember, those of you with osteoporosis, it won't be into bone on bone compression. And one more side. Come back to center and release. Now pause in your mountain pose. Feel into the whole circumference of each heel. Ground the whole circumference of your big toe ball mound. Stretch across to the pinky toe ball mound. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Shoulder blades firm on the back body. Let your palms turn forward. And let your head rest back as if it were on the floor. Let your sacrum rest back. And lift to one toe. And lift the knee and tap. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And hold lifted. Release the femur bone at the head, at the hip, towards the floor. And step down. Lift to the other toe. Hug in the banks of your river and lift. And tap. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And lift and hold. Feel that construction X across your back body. Feel strong from low rib to opposite hip pointer. Testing our balance. Step down. Okay, let's test our balance another way. Leaning forward, hinging over the front hip. Let your wings open out to the sides of your hips, shoulder blades firm on the back, and see if you can hinge over that standing leg. Reach out through the whole circumference of the heel. Big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, and crown. Shoulder blades strong on the back, square strong in the front. And float back up. Ground into the next side. 4 corners of the foot. Shoulder blades strong on the back, front square strong, and hinge over the standing leg. Ground through the big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound. Stretch out through the whole circumference of the heel. Reach from heel to crown. Shoulder blades strong on the back. And float back up. Okay, so that's where we're going to begin today. Please have a heavier hand weight or your sandbag close by for the floor work. Bring in your Gertie ball at request for our series of 5. Okay? And let's lie down on our backs. Okay. Lying down on your back, feet on the floor, sacrum on the floor, arms wide, palms up, nod tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. And just feel into your low back, into your hips and buttocks. Notice the state of things right now. And then bring your hands up, thumbs into your hip creases, and press the hands down against your femur bones. Lift your spine and traction it away from your pelvis. Just get a little tractioning in the lumbar. So you're pressing your hands into your femur bones at the hip crease, and you're stretching your head away, lengthening the low ribs away, the navel away from the pelvis. Deep 3-dimensional breath. And release your hands to your sides. And float one leg to tabletop. And release. Palms are up, thumbs are out. Next leg, exhale up. Inhale down light as a feather. Your shoulders stay broad. Your gaze is perpendicular to the floor. Really relax the head of the arm bones back. And don't make a sound as you step the foot onto the floor. Step the foot onto the floor. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Really relax the head of the arm bones back and become aware of your Pilates square. Float one leg to tabletop and the other to follow. Now, those of you with flat low backs or scoliosis, you may want a folded blanket under your pelvis. Bring your heels together, shoulders stay broad, and toe dip at the angle. So your knee is wider than your ankle, your heels are together, and you're toe dipping at that angle. We are not touching the floor because we do not want to rebound. The movement down is equally smooth to the movement up. They're the same pace. Slow down, slow up, shoulders broad. Relax your jaw. In fact, let your jaw move back and forth like a grasshopper chewing. And pause and let your tongue rest. Now come back up, bring your shins parallel, flex your feet, bring your hands onto your femur bones again, and press the hands into the femurs up towards the knee. Pull the femurs towards your chest and feel your front abdominal core activate. Now release this and start at just 10% of effort. And feel for a long spine and broad shoulders and a long neck, and move up to 20% of effort. Feel the core activating in your abdomen, but don't pinch the vertebrae towards each other. Keep the channel of the spine long. That might mean hugging in your glutes and reaching the tailbone long. It might mean nodding your head no and then reaching through the crown. Keep the shoulders from rising up towards the ears. Feel for that centered channel staying long as you increase the pressure between your hands and your femur bones. We stay with this with fluid breath in our neutral spinal curves. And hug the knees in. Circle the knees wide apart and back together again. Remember, the circling releases synovial fluid. It also warms up the tissue around the circumference of the femur bone. Take the circles the other way. Fluid breath. And today, before we do the abdominal series of 5, let's lower one foot to the floor and the other, and let's come into our bridges. So palms facing each other, whole humerus bone grounding. Lift the pelvis. When you get the pelvis lifted, hug both glutes into the bone. Hug the banks of your river in side to side, and notice if that stretches your quads in the front of the leg a little more. Broad across your back, long down the arm bones. Lift the pubic bone a little higher. Lengthen out your knees. Now take a deep three-dimensional inhale. Exhale through your straw. Draw the pelvic floor into the body. Lengthen and hug in the muscles around the spine. A few more breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling through your straw. Feeling for the gentle hug around the spine. One more like that. Now lift the right buttock a little higher than the left. Really engage the right buttock. Relax the left buttock. Let the left hip drape away from the right hip. Feel the work in the front of the right leg, the inner thigh of the right leg, the back of the right leg, 4 corners of the foot engaged. You may even lift your toes to find the 4 corners. And then swing across, relaxing right, lift left, relax right. Pressing down into the 4 corners of the left foot, broad across both shoulders, down both arms, long side waists, a released right buttock. Feel what's working in the left side. And swing across, lift right. And swing across, lift left. And relax the one that isn't working. Learning how to turn muscles on and turn muscles off. Gaze perpendicular to the floor. You're getting a little twisting action in the spine. Added benefit. And come back to neutral and lift the pubic bone, pulsing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. Take your inner thighs away from your navel. Breathe three-dimensionally into the torso. Exhale through your straw. Lift the pelvic floor into the body, or draw it in, I guess. Lengthen the sleeve of muscles around the spine. Soft three-dimensional inhale. Exhale through the straw. Feel for a hug around the spine. And lower the pelvis to the floor. Relax your arms. Feel for your neutral curves and come into somatic walking. That means with feet on the floor, you just lift one hip, relax it down, and lift the other. We're not twisting at the knees. The knees walk straight out over the toes. We're just lifting one hip and then the other, relaxing the spine onto the floor. Fluid breath, fluid walking motion. Okay, reach for your Gurdy ball and draw one leg in towards your chest and then the other. Place the Gurdy ball against your right femur bone and lengthen the left leg out, either towards the sky or at your 45-degree angle, or if you're tall and long-legged, maybe you keep the lengthened leg bent. Okay. Actually, let's everybody bend the lengthened leg first. Press the hands into the femur through the ball and toe dip the other foot. Just toe dip it. Okay. And feel how your front Pilates square is turned on. Shoulders are broad, neck is long. You're active in your front Pilates square. Your ribs aren't flaring. Your pelvis isn't moving. We're moving the femur bone in the pelvis. Now you can stay with that, or you can lengthen that leg straight out. Lengthen it out and hold for a few breaths. Shoulders broad, neck long. Now you can even nod nose towards mouth and almost lift from the hairline. And then switch sides. Pressing the ball through the hands into the femur, femur into ball towards the hands. Let's bend the other knee and toe dip. And come up. And toe dip. And come up. Keep your Pilates square strong. Don't let it go askew as the one leg moves. And then some of you will straighten that leg at your 45-degree angle. Really work to keep the low ribs in good connection with the hip pointers. And release. Bring the ball between your knees. Bring the hands to float palms down over the floor. And as you pulse into the ball with your knees, lift the hands up and pat towards the floor without touching it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nod nose towards mouth. Almost lift from the hairline. And continue. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Now ask yourself, am I aware of my outer hips? Are they involved? Are they gently hugging in, keeping banks to the river as the inner thighs work? Am I aware of my arms? Am I flopping them around or am I just patting? And pause. Okay. Now, ball into right femur as you draw the knee in, lengthening the left leg out, and switch, and switch, and switch. Nod your nose towards your mouth. Almost lift from the hairline and lengthen through your crown. You can stay here with neck injury or osteoporosis, or float your head up and look towards your shins and press, 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 press. Change, 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 change. Look for good form. If lengthening the leg doesn't feel good, bend the knee and let the foot toe dip instead towards the floor. Toe dip, toe dip, toe dip, toe dip, or lengthen, 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 lengthen. You choose. And release the head down. Place the ball between the knees, hands on the knees. Toe dip the feet, reach the wrists overhead. And tap. Hug the ball. Let's floint the feet. So reach long across the transverse arch of your foot, big toe to pinky toe. And hug the ball with your knees. Tap the knees with your hands as the knees come up on the exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, in. Inhale, open. Exhale, in. Fluid breath. Now you can stay with these, or you can bring the ball up between your ankles and taking the hands away from your ankles, long spine. So you choose what's right for you. If you're super long-legged, then you probably want to stay with the toe dips. Keep the hips hugging in. Keep your banks of the river alive. Fluid breath. And inhaling out and exhaling in for 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Release the ball and bring the left hand against the right femur through the ball. Toe dip the left foot, bring the right arm overhead in your Y, and bring the palm in towards the knee and open up and in towards your knee and open up. So a little gingerbread action, fluid breath, cross body work, waking up your obliques, pressing the hand into the ball, femur bone into the ball, and toe dipping open and close and open and close. Last one and close and switch sides. Right hand into the ball, left arm open, right foot toe dips and touch and open and touch. Inhale out and exhale in. Keep steady pressure between the hand and the femur through the ball. Let that help you stabilize for the movement of the other limbs. Broad collar, long neck, gaze perpendicular to the floor. And one more. And hugging it in. Release the ball and hug the knees in towards your chest. Circle them wide apart and back together again. Now, take the circles the other way and bring the knees together. Circle the knees around the perimeter of the sacrum. One more time. And then take the circles the other way. Okay, we are going to do a classic series of 5, just a few on each side, just to feel it. Lengthen your left leg out, hug the right leg in. Remember, left hand's on inner knee, right hand's towards ankle. Nod nose towards mouth, almost lift from your hairline. Hug in your banks and switch. Some of you will float the head. Reach the lengthening leg out like you're going to push a button on the wall, or if you'd prefer, just toe dip that leg. Okay? So do what's best for your low back. You don't have to lengthen the leg out. You could instead keep it bent and toe dip as you hug the opposite leg in. Fluid breath, long through the crown. And hug both knees in, rest the head down. Reach the hands and feet towards the sky. Tank ankles away from wrists. Again, you could keep the knees bent and toe dip. Inhale out to your point of control and pause. Low ribs are hugging towards hip pointers. Hug in your glutes. Make a container. Circle the arms, hug the knees in. Inhale out and exhale in. Stay long through the center channel of your spine. 2 more. Inhale out. Exhale in, inhale out, exhale in. Right leg overhead for scissor. Remember, it's just an inch. Pulse, 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 pulse. Press the hands into the shin. Pulse, 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 or you could have them at the femur. Pulse, 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 pulse. Feel into activating that lower abdominal core with gentle resistance from the palm as you pulse the leg. Scissors, or and bring the legs together. Bend the knees. Single leg toe dip. Shoulders are broad. Inhaling down and exhaling up. You can stay with single leg toe dips or keeping the square strong. Take both legs down and both legs up. Really keep your neutral lumbar curve here. So as the legs toe dip, reach the tailbone long. Reach long through the crown and rest the shoulders. You can stay with single or double legs or lengthen the legs, heels together, flex the feet lower, point the toes lift. The toes are a little wider, your feet are in a Pilates V, and you concentrate on zipping up the inseams of the legs if you've come to this last one. Fluid breath. Inhaling down, exhaling up, shoulders still relaxed, strong abdominal square. Last one. And bend the knees. Hands behind the head. Exhale, lift the right elbow, lengthen the right leg, and pause. Rest the head back. Reach through the crown, long away from the pelvis, and switch sides. Lift the left elbow, lift the left shoulder blade, lengthen through the body, and switch, and switch. Really concentrate on resting the head back. The hyoid bone rests into the neck crease and you're working From lifting the elbow and drawing one side rib across to the opposite hip pointer without compressing the spine. Turn your feet out slightly so you get more work on the vastus medialis as you straighten the leg out and press the button on the wall. Alternately, you could be toe dipping the legs here. Okay, as you lift one elbow, the other leg toe dips. And maybe that's better for some of your anatomy. Fluid breath. Come back to center and release your head. And float one foot to the floor and then the other. Having done most of 2 sets of the series of 5, come back in, rest your arms, palms up, thumbs out. Fluid, 3-dimensional breath. Breathe into the whole circle of the lowest ribs. Rest the shoulders broad. Now bring your arms out to a T, elbows out, fingers towards the sky, palms facing the foot of the mat, and press long from the center of the heart out through the shoulders, out towards the elbows. Now, as you do this, notice if your front ribs want to flare off the ground and you want to come into a big back bend, resist that. Keep your neutral curves, reach the tailbone long, and take a deep inhale and a full exhale. Next time, exhale out through your coffee straw. Draw the pelvic floor into the body. Feel for a hug around the circumference of the spine. And soften for the inhale. Feel the whole circumference of the diaphragm. Exhale through your straw. Now you can stay here working on the breath here, or no pillow under your head, lift your pelvis and do this work in a bridge. Still strong from elbow to elbow. Draw your heels towards your sit bones and traction the pelvis away from the shoulder girdle and breathe into the whole circle of your lowest ribs. Exhale through your straw, draw the pelvic floor into the body. Feel for a hug of the transverse abdominis. And release back down. Draw the pillow back in under your head if you use one. Arms to your side. Press the head back. Gaze perpendicular to the floor and relax. Again, press the head back. Feel the muscles of the neck, the suboccipital muscles activate, and then relax them. Nod your head no to having hypertonic muscles in the neck, the base of the skull. No, no. Nod your head yes to building strength in the back body. Okay, before we go on, let's bring the right ankle over the left knee. Let the right knee open. Fluid breath, opening the hips a little bit. You could put the left foot on a block or draw the legs in toward your chest and rock side to side. Fluid breath. Strengthening the back body, series of 5 in balance. Those were our tasks today. We'll do a little hip opening anyway. You may circle the legs. Breathe into the low back body. And some of you may feel comfortable bringing the right foot to the left side of the body, setting it on the floor, and pressing the right femur bone away down the mat. This may help you get deeper into the hip tissue. You can press the right leg with the left arm and let the right wing open. Breathe into opening the hip. So yes, we want to strengthen it. And yes, we want to open it. Fluid breath. And then release. Bring the right leg off back to center and the left. Hug the knees in. Circle them together around the perimeter of the sacrum. Good morning, sacrum. Good morning, SI joints. And take your circles the other way. Fluid breath. And setting the right foot on the floor, bring the left ankle across the right knee. Flex the left foot and let the knee open. Some of you may really like attractioning here, pressing your thumbs into the hip creases, pressing the femur bones away from the shoulders, tractioning the lumbar spine. That may be enough of a hip opener for you, and you may focus more on the tractioning of the lumbar. You can stay there or draw the legs in towards the chest and rock back and forth, keeping the left foot flexed to protect the left knee. Some of you may circle the legs. Fluid breath, remembering that circling can spiral the tissue because it'll pull it at all these different angles. And that may help us create more flexibility, not just in one direction. You can stay with any of the above or bring the left foot to the right side of your body. Let it rest down. Press both hands into the left femur or the right hand as you unfurl the left wing. Again, as you press your hand into the femur bone, feel how the femur bone will pull down on the hip tissue, down on the pelvis, tractioning the low back. Breathe into the stretching tissue and invite it to relax on the exhales. Okay, release the left leg, take it off the right, roll over onto one side. And let's come up onto our forearm. Feel free to fold the mat in. And if you'd like to, bring a light hand weight forward of your body. Okay. So side planks, so that we develop side body strength. We begin with the rainbow over and the lift of the lower side body up. Some of you may stay with this. Some of you may want to rainbow up and lift the hip and lower the hip and exhale up and inhale down and exhale and inhale, lifting and lowering the hip. Some of you may want to stay with that. And some of you may want to lengthen the right leg out. Now, if you want this a little more challenging in the hips, you can take the bottom leg down the mat so that the knee is pointing straight towards the bottom of the mat, and you're lengthening that leg in the hip. And then try lifting into the side plank and coming back down and lifting. This will work the glutes and the hip muscles a little differently as you lift and lower. So you can stay with these, or you can lift up your hand weight and bring your hand weight up and lower the hand weight by the hip and lift and lower and lift and lower. Now lift up and hold. And some of you can bring the hand weight forward and lift it straight back up and hand weight forward and up and forward and up. Lengthen from the forearm to the lifted knuckles and release the hip and lower the arm. And let's take it to the other side. Okay, so I promised you hip strengthening during this year. So we're continuing that focus. Forearm on the mat again. Come into your clamshell position, heels lined up with sit bones. Spine long along the back edge of your mat. So don't curl forward. Make sure that you've got a long spine. Bring your hand weight up if you'd like to, and rainbow. And come back. You don't have to use the hand weight yet if you don't want to. We didn't on the other side. Fluid breath. I'm just trying to give you options that you can also choose on the days I don't bring in the hand weight. You could choose to bring in the hand weight if you'd like. Try lifting the hip and lowering the hip. Hug the glutes in as you lift and lower. If this at all hurts your shoulder, remember you could just lift the arm part way. You don't have to bring the arm overhead. So you're just adding a little weight to the lift of the underside body, helping strengthen that side body. You can stay with these, or you can lengthen the bottom leg down the mat, stretch out the top leg, and lift and lower. You can lift the foot and the arm as you bring it over. Remember to follow the scapular plane of your rib cage if you're doing the arm here. You may lift up and stop at the top and lower the arm forward and bring it back up. Now, don't throw the hand weight or the hand behind you and pop the head of the arm bone forward. Remember, you want to keep the head of the arm bone comfortable inside the center of the room. You don't want it to run into any of the walls. And float back up and hold. And lengthen from crown to foot. Three-dimensional breath. Feel how you're building side body strength. And a release. Okay, come back onto your back body again and come into a bridge, a constructive rest position, and bring your heavier hand weight or your sandbag over the top of your pelvis. Feet on the floor. Building strength in our legs, our buttocks, our side bodies, awareness all the way around so that when we come back up for our standing balance work, we're awake. Broad across the back body, strong down the arms. Either the sandbag drapes over your pelvis or you hold the hand weight between your pelvic bones and lift the pelvis and lower the pelvis and lift and lower. Inhale and exhale, or exhale and inhale. Now you can stay with this work of lifting and lowering with both feet on the floor, or you can lift one foot up towards the sky. Try to keep the leg may be at a little bit of an angle. You could even bend the knee because you have the hand weight here, and lift and lower and lift and lower. Fluid breath. Now use the hand weight to kind of think of an evenness across your pelvis or the sandbag. Keep level across the pelvis. Last one. And lower down. Bring the foot to the floor. Long spine, neutral curves. Float the next leg up. Rooting the four corners. Lift and lower. So make sure that you're working to stay level across the pelvis. We want equal strength on both sides. That's why sometimes we come into this single leg work because oftentimes we're weaker on one side and we want that side to work independently and get stronger. One more and lower back down. Pause in your neutral curves and take a few three-dimensional breaths. Relaxing open on the exhales. Lengthening the spine if you need to. Deep breath. Okay, float the first leg up one more time. And pressing down into the four corners, lift the pelvis and pulse the knee skyward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. And release. Next, foot to the floor, open, feel the four corners, three arches. Float the knee up and lift. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. And release. Step down. Let the soles of your feet come together, knees open wide. You can take the hand weight off if you'd like. If you have the sandbag, leave it there. Deep three-dimensional breaths. Let the hips open. Now bring the arms open into your elbow goalpost T with your fingers towards the sky, palms towards the foot of the mat. And again, press back from the center of the heart out to the shoulder blades, out to the elbows, and back again. Nod your head no. Don't let the neck and upper trap get overly involved. Come back to center and nod your head yes to strengthening from elbow through to center spine. Make sure your Pilates square is still strong, low ribs to hip pointers. And bring the knees back up and lift your pelvis one more time. Heels hugging in towards sit bones, pressing back across the line from elbow to elbow. Heels hugging towards your sit bones to wake up the hamstrings. Remember, you can hug at 10% of effort or 100 or anywhere in between. And lower back down. Release the sandbag and roll over onto hands and knees. A little bit of balance work here before we come to standing balance. Bring in a hand weight to your left hand and float the hand weight out to the left, shoulder blades strong on the back. Reach from crown to tailbone and float the right shin out to the right. And pause. Feel for your Pilates square in balance. Feel for your myofascial flings from one shoulder to the opposite buttock. Stabilize through the grounding hand and grounding leg. And lower your wings and lift them. And lower and lift. Try to keep that whole rectangle of the back body strong and the front abdomen strong, and float back out and hold. And release. And take it to the other side. Float your right wing up, shoulder blade firm on the back ribs, and float the left leg out. I'm going to give you a watch today. Try to hold that, finding length from crown to tail. Good. I love the fact some of you aren't lifting your legs too high. You're looking for that tabletop at the sacrum. Really nice all the way around the room. And now lower and lift with your breath. And don't pulse too fast. Let it be a slow lower and a lift. As you lift, try not to tilt the pelvis. Remember, we're trying to work with those deep hip muscles. Good, Susie. Strong at the square. Yeah, beautiful, Tina. Nice head and neck alignment. You too, Karen. Yeah, these look good all the way around the room. All of you. Good. Don't throw the hand too high. Don't throw the hand too high. Hand should not be higher than the shoulder. Yeah, good. And lift and hold. Sorry, I know I'm keeping this side a little longer. You'll be asymmetrical. And release. And inhale your cow. And exhale your hissing cow. Okay, let's float up onto hands and knees. Up into downward dog. Knees bent in towards your armpits. Lengthen from your active finger pads and your lifted finger knuckles through all the way up the arms. Relax the shoulders, release the neck. Lengthen the spine back to the pelvis. Take the hip creases back, and some of you, keeping neutral curves, can take the legs back. Fluid, three-dimensional breath here. Now try in this orientation to exhale through your straw, draw the pelvic floor in. Broad across your shoulders and neck. Feel into the back X of your body here, from shoulder to opposite buttock, and see if you can elongate the back body with that awareness. And step your feet forward. Set your belly on your femur bones. And then float up into your Utkatasana, fierce pose. Release the tail, reach up through the crown. Release the arms, let them swing. Release the head of the arm bones away from the shoulder girdle. Good. And swing up to standing. And release your arms. Okay. Reach for your foam roller. And let's try a little balance work with the foam roller today. Now, we're going to try it first with just the foam roller, and then we're going to try it adding a hand weight. So you're going to bring the foam roller up and place it on the top of your foot, okay? And then the foot you place it on, you're going to take back behind you. And pressing, you can use both hands or just the one on the same side, pressing into the foam roller, pressing the foot into the foam roller. You're going to begin to hinge. The arm that isn't being used could float out like a wing if you'd like. and come in towards your Virabhadrasana 3. Headsets don't stay on as well. That's one bad thing. Sorry. Okay. And yeah, press between hand and foot. Try to use that. Keep going. I want to watch. I want to see how well it works. See if that foam roller adds some stability from when we did it earlier in class. See if you can come forward. Yeah, beautiful. Now float back up. And let's try it on the other side. It's a little awkward to get used to, but it adds an element of stability once you do get used to it. So take it on to the other foot. And yep, hinge, 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 press, foot into foam roller, hand into foam roller. Good, good, good. Yeah, these are good. Nice work. Okay, yeah, good. And then come back up. All right, so we did a lot of pelvis stability work. So now try taking the foam roller onto one foot and the opposite hand onto the foam roller and see if you can hinge. It creates the stability in a different way across the body. So feel for how you can create stability. Use your myofascial slings and come back up. And let's try the other side. So opposite hand to foot on the roller. So it'll be at a bit of a diagonal. Take the foot back and float. Float over. Fluid breath. Concentrate on pressing hand and foot into the roller and see if that helps you create stability. Notice how it works across the body and come back up. Okay. Put the foam roller off to the side. Pick up a hand weight. Just one. Okay. So a little deadlift for us in our Virabhadrasana 2 position. Step your right foot forward. Put the hand weight in your left hand. Bring the left toe back and begin to float forward. Still imagine you've got the stability of the foam roller if it helped you as you hinge forward. Try to keep your toes, I just corrected mine, pointing towards the floor. Fluid breath. And then float back up. Now try the hand weight on the other side. Ground into the four corners of your feet. You may even lift your toes, lift your arches, and then come on to the back toe. Long spine. Find the banks of your river. Find the X across your back and your Pilates square, and then hinge. Fluid breath. Did working with a foam roller add to your stability? Come back up. Okay, let's try a little different balance work. Bring in your yoga block to step on or your oov. Let me use my oov. Okay. You bring in your oov, put it tail forward, head back, and step the second toe in the groove of the oov, the Achilles lining up, the arch of your foot over the back of the oov. Now, if you're on the block, you just step your four corners right on up and bicep curl up onto your toe and float back down and lift and lower. Fluid breath. And as you step down on the standing foot, really kind of activate down into your block or down into your oov. So you're activating from these hip muscles down to create that stability to lift. And then imagine that the hot air balloon is helping you. It's lifting you up. And some of you may want to lift your knee and lower. Now, can you keep your heart up and your gaze at the mountaintop as you do this work? Feel into that construction X supporting you in your back body. That can help you with the balance. Floating up and floating down. And see, can I go a little slower and still balance as your instructor almost falls over? Fluid breath. Floating up and floating down. Let's try the other side. Second toe in the groove of the oov, Achilles tendon lined up, we float to the toe. And down as we float to the toe, we have to hug in the banks of the river. Fluid breath. Our gaze is on the mountaintop. Our heart is lifted. We're not looking down at our feet. Some of you will lift the knee. Fluid breath. And then we begin to practice slowing it down. And we look for our balance as we work. Fluid breath. Notice how you create the stability from hip through the foot. You can use the energy down from your pelvis into earth, which will help lift the upper body skyward. And one more. And release. Now switch sides again. And as you get settled, float up and let your arms begin to circle forward, like reminds me of a train, choo-choo train. And see if your knee can come up and begin to circle with your arms. Fluid breath. Keep the heart lifted. Keep the gaze up towards the mountaintop. Let your head rest back. Palate over heart over pelvis. Try not to lean forward. Yeah. And step back down. Try the other side. So you can always do the just stepping up and down if it feels like the train and the circles are hard to balance. That's okay too, because you're building strength in your glute med. So come up and let your arms start first. Get used to the rhythm of your circle. And then add the leg. Fluid breath, keeping the heart up, the gaze up, keeping an awareness of your back body, your sacrum, the back of your heart, the back of your head, all resting towards the wall. Good. Beautiful alignment, folks. Really nice. And step down. And let's try just one more before we leave. Second toe and Achilles tendon aligned in your ooh if you're using one. Four corners of the foot engaged on the block if you're not. Feel for your arches. And float the leg out to the side and in. And you can touch down if you need to, or you can try to not touch down. Working your abductors now, but let that hot air balloon lift you from the center palate. Stay strong in the banks of your river. We worked on lifting the pelvic floor and lengthening the sleeve of muscles along the spine. So hopefully those are working for you now. And step back down. Let's try the other side. So it's good to take balance in different directions and feel for it. Step to the toe. Shoulders on your back body. Float the arms, float the leg. And maybe you start small because big movements may throw us off. And then you let it get a little larger over time. Fluid breath. The challenge is slowing it down. Yeah. Nice work, everyone. And one more. And release. Good. Let's step off our props, put the hand weights down, and come into our Pilates V if that's comfortable, parallel feet if not. Feel for the whole circumference of your heel. Let your tailbone reach down and the base of your skull lift up. Let your shoulder blades rest broad as if the floor were behind you. Let your sacrum rest onto the floor, your calves, your head. Three-dimensional breath. Now think of that pizza pie disc through your navel, front and back, around that whole circumference, and let it lift away from your hips. Let the next one at the low ribs lift. These are your anti-gravitational rings at mid-chest, at collar, at skull, at your eye level. Let the disc lift front, back, and sides. And feel yourself slowly getting taller as those discs stretch out the different sections of your spine. still, you feel behind you the wall. Those discs go through the wall and they lengthen it. It's like a very Alice in Wonderland experience. Bend your knees, lift the heels and zip up, lengthening up the wall, and lower the heels. Bend the knees, lift the heels, and lengthen up and lower. Your heart is lifted and your gaze can still be at the mountaintop. And even this ends up being balance work. Let your head rest back. If you tend to carry it forward, even rest it back a little farther than normal. Try that. One more. Come all the way up and pause. Lift. Let the hot air balloon stretch the spine. Navel ring lifts, low rib ring, chest ring, collar, and skull. Feel how that lifts the weight off your feet. And lower down. And let's inhale and draw in fabulous energy for a fantastic Friday and weekend. Okay. So a little different Friday class today, more traditional in a way.